Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is EV Comics. Welcome to not a comic review, but a cartoon review, I suppose. Um, I have been watching Glitch, or should I say, Glitch X4 or whatever. Super Mario 64 YouTube poops. That's basically what he did back in the day, believe it or not. If you ever seen SMG4, that's what it is, SMG4. If you've ever seen that channel from like 10 plus years ago making YouTube poops with Mario 64 and stuff like that. Yeah, he's still doing that. He's still doing that. It's obviously changed, like the quality has gone up a little bit, but he's still doing that. While also running this animation studio that he's called Glitch. And over the years, Glitch has produced some very good things. Now, I have not watched all of it. I think the first one was Meta Runners, and the animation was a little rough, but it was 3D animated. It was a little rough. It kind of made me think of SFM, and maybe they used SFM to do it. I don't know because I think that's what I'm pretty sure that's what Glitch uses for his stuff is SFM or at least Gary's mod for a lot of the things. And I think like for a first show, it was all right. Like it's gonna like be one of those things where like I look back at Demonico, my first story, and I'm like, man, this is rough. There's some good points to this, and I'm really happy with like how it turned out. But at the same time, like, oh man, it needs some work, man. Uh, and around I think it was called Murder Drones. Yeah, Murder Drones. I have not watched that one, but I have heard good things about it. That just ended, and now we're on the Amazing Digital Circus, which I believe only has 2 episodes left. And Digital Circus has been pretty good. It's been pretty interesting. How it's basically like slapstick comedy with a overhanging existential dread about like these people being trapped in this digital world, and it's an interesting cartoon for sure. It definitely markets itself for kids, but it is not. I would not necessarily call it a kids cartoon. Sure, it's got the bright colors and the slapstick humor and the funny jokes and everything like that, but underneath it is like a lot of existential type of fear, type of horror to it. Not necessarily like it's a horror series. I wouldn't call it that, but it does have some horror elements to it. And when the trailer for Knights of Guinevere came out, I was like, oh crap, they're diving full on into it. This is a horror series, but not like overtly horrifying. It's similar to Digital Circus. This cartoon is horrifying in a like psychological way, where the actual like the actual show itself, I would not call scary, but the implications of it is. And there's a few things that I think are a little like I'm questioning a little bit that may not make sense because it's just a pilot. But I'll get to that in a second. The animation, pretty good. It's nothing. It doesn't blow my mind away. Like when I watched Amazing Digital Circus, I'm like, wow, this is really good for an independent studio. That's not freaking Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or whatever. It looks Amazing Digital Circus looks better than the stuff on TV. Like I'll say it, Digital Circus looks better than the stuff I see on TV these days, and the voice acting is really good. That was something that surprised me was that the voice acting was very good. The writing was really good. The jokes are good and all that kind of stuff. It's very internet humor type of thing, where a lot of their jokes are like memes and references and like YouTube poop kind of humor, which I just mentioned that SMG4 is the guy who runs this thing, and he if there's one thing he knows, it's YouTube poops. But 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 this is very different. This does not have any of those any of those elements to it. in my opinion. I don't feel anything like that with this. And something that's different with this show compared to other ones is it's being run by Dana Terrace. I think that's her name. Let me double check. Let me check the credits here. Yeah, Dana Terrace. Now Dana Terrace, if you don't know her, she was the showrunner of the Owl House, which Disney kind of canceled prematurely and forced them to rush season three into like I think it was only like 4 episodes. They were longer episodes, but there were 4 episodes, and people did not like that. People did not like that they rushed the show so much. This was like towards the end of COVID, I think, as well, um, which might have been one of the reasons why they did so. But the show itself, a lot of people kind of just dismissed the show immediately. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. My sinuses, bro. Anyway, people dismissed the show right off the bat because the two main characters are lesbians. I know. But let me tell you, I actually watched this show because I have a couple of artist friends who have watched it. And for me to have the opinion that they don't make cartoons like they used to, I have to watch cartoons now to understand that to defend my point and say, yes, the cartoons back then were better. I have to watch cartoons today, not as often, obviously, but I have to a certain extent, watch that if I'm going to hold that opinion. If I'm going to actually, like, if my words are actually going to mean something, I need to back it up by doing the research. Um, and I watched The Owl House, and it's fun. It's a fun cartoon. It's genuinely, like, a very, like, probably the most kind of fun cartoon. Let me put it this way. If Steven Universe was like The Owl House, I would not have a complaint about Steven Universe. But instead, Steven Universe is awful and in every in every conceivable way. Um, and I hate it. But The Owl House was basically similar writing style, but it the plot made much more sense. The characters made much more sense. You didn't have the weird gem fusion analogy for sex and had Steven and Connie fusing, which is its own can of worms. Like, I mean, you just had too much stuff for a kid's cartoon for you to be really looking at that. And yeah, I know the sex analogy is going to be lost on younger kids, but older kids are probably going to get it. Kids are smarter than people let on. They're also dumber because of TikTok, but that's regardless. The Owl House was a good cartoon, in my opinion. I think it was pretty good. It had solid character writing, great animation. The art style, while again kind of round and safe, it's not. There's not really any sharp edges to most of the characters. While that is the case, I do still think the animation was good, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Owl House, the Owl House, the Owl House. I actually enjoyed it. And this lady who produced it or directed it rather, is doing this. And unlike with Disney, where Dana's hands were tied to what she could do, this is an independent studio. They basically just said, "Here, you get to do whatever." Um, and my immediate assumption was going to be, okay, how gay is it going to be? How gay is this cartoon going to be on the first episode? Because if they're going to push, like, the main characters being lesbian or whatever, in the first episode, if that's what they're going to be, like, a major thing, then I already know what the rest of the cartoon is going to be about. It's going to be a slow burn romance that's going to take the spotlight from the actual interesting things that won't be nearly as good because they don't get as much screen time as the lesbian relationship. And keep in mind, I would say the same thing if they made this like a dude and a girl having this slow burn relationship too. Like it to me, it's like romance stuff is cool, but it has to be secondary and sometimes even third. The third most important thing. I would even say it's sometimes better when it's the third most important thing. Because for this kind of show, the world building is the most important, and the character development is most important. That's like the two priorities for a show like this. And they do it. They do it pretty good. The world building is very solid in this. I am horrified for the people that are living in this world. It seems like everyone is sick and dying. There's like a very Disney type of visual to it, which I think is definitely on purpose. I think Dana is taking out a little bit of revenge here. And deserved. Go off, Queen. But the main thing with this is that the world is awful, and it's because of this Disney like corporation that has like a super fun land. Let me see if I can get a good picture of it. Super fun land that's like high above the rest of the world. Yeah. This is a good example here. So you see like the multiple towers that are above the planet, which I don't even know is Earth. It could be something else because they talk about like terraforming other planets and stuff like that. And I'm like, what in the world is even going on here? I have no idea. But this looks amazing. I love this visual right off the bat. A minute into it, the visuals for this is so good. The idea that the entire planet has gone to crap, and yet this Disney-like corporation has made monuments far away from the filth that they've created, and can live looking down on everyone else. It's a very instant visual that tells you everything you need to know about this world. It is awful. It is genuinely a dystopia, despite the fact that it tries to present itself as not. And I love it. I really do love it. I also love this freaking robot here. This girl on the back, you see her over there? Yeah. That's like her organs, her android organs that this girl is pulling like a leash, and she basically like tells the android girl to come to her, and instead of doing that, she jumps over the edge trying to off herself, which is such a terrifying thing to see. Like, this is preferable. This is what the android would rather do instead of being in this castle with this girl. And the opening narration about a princess being trapped in a tower makes you think it's this little girl Olivia. But no, the princess is Guinevere. The princess here in the story, anyway, in the narration is Guinevere, and she is she is trapped in this castle, and it is a miserable experience. Now, yes, Pro ZD is the guy who voices this dude. I think his name is like Sun Chan Woo or something like that. I hate this guy because he is almost single-handedly responsible for ruining the Avatar animated movie before it even comes out. I will not be watching that movie because they have not brought back a single voice actor from the original show. It pisses me off because this guy just moaned and complained and played crybaby on the internet saying, "Oh, I think voice actors should match their race." No, that's stupid. The person who could do the best voice for the character should get the part, regardless of race. You want to know why? Because it's voice acting. You don't have to look a certain way. Mark Hamill does not look like the Joker. He could never play the Joker in live action, but he could play him as a voice, and he has for like 30 years. And it's because the wonderful world of voice acting allows you to transcend your physical appearance and play a character that you could normally never play. And that is awesome. I love that. But this guy ruined it. This guy absolutely ruined it. You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic here? Is this guy Asian? I don't know if he's Asian. I think he's white. And the other characters he plays, because in the credits it says he plays multiple characters. I wonder if all those characters are Asian. I don't even know. Is this guy Korean? If he's Korean, then shouldn't he only voice Korean characters? He shouldn't voice Chinese or Japanese characters. He should only voice Korean characters. You know what I mean? It's retarded. And I hate this guy so much. But as far as his character goes, he's got this little thing on his forehead, so it makes me think he's like an android or something. But this little girl, it's pretty evil right off the bat. And, I mean, just some of the imagery. Like, this right here is horrific. I mean, yes, she is a filthy clanker, all right? Make no mistake. I don't have much sympathy for the clankers. But, this is pretty horrific. This is scary. That's actually really good. So, like, what I mean by the animation is really good, the art style is just solid. You got a really solid cartoon look here, and it kind of does look like the Owl House a little bit. Again, not a whole lot of sharp edges to the characters here, but there are some characters that have much sharper looks. But anyway, fast forward like I think 30 freaking years, and you get these two as the main characters, which by the gray hair here, I'm assuming she at the youngest she's like late 30s. So this means this is Andrea and Frankie, and I'm pretty sure that these two are lesbians. Let's just be honest here. But the notice that I said pretty sure, because at no point do these characters shout at the top of their lungs that they're lesbian, which for Dana Terrace to have no restrictions making this essentially, I was kind of shocked. I thought there was going to be a scene of them professing their love for each other and whatnot. But instead, we don't get that. We don't get that at all. From what all I could tell is that these two are friends. I don't get any kind of romantic vibes off of these two. There's never even a subtle moment to hint at that, in my opinion. And that's restraint, man. That's actual restraint, and I think that's surprising. Because knowing the Owl House and knowing like all the characters there, like freaking Ida's boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know. It's a non-binary person. And then there's the main characters that are lesbian. So like to me, I was like, okay, this is going to be very just like outright, overtly LGBT. But instead, I was pleasantly shocked. I was pleasantly surprised. It's actually a lot more contained. Excuse me. My allergies, man, is killing me. But it's actually a lot more contained. I like the character designs. They definitely stand out from each other. Like these two, you cannot confuse them in silhouettes, right? Everyone has like a distinct look to them and stuff like that. I'm not gonna actually play anything because I want you to do it. This guy right here, his voice actor doesn't really fit. You could tell it's like a young dude trying to sound like a gruff old man. You know what I mean? Like it's like me doing the Mr. Krabs impression. Essentially, is what that guy is. I'm gonna go back to the credits because I kind of want to see. What's the guy's name? I can't even remember what the dude's name is. Is it Reggie? Is it Reggie? I don't know. Anyway, look at all these characters voiced by Sung-Won Cho. I wonder if all of these are Asian. Sorry to go back on that point, but I just had to point it out. I can't remember who it is. Anyway, also, I'm pretty sure this character here, is schizophrenic. Because At some point, she just has like a lot of like she has like three stuffed animals that are talking to her, but they're not actually talking to her. Like it's just a figment of her imagination. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure this chick is schizophrenic. Um, but yeah, like the actual like whenever it comes to the actual action of the show, um, it's actually like really well done. Like this face is pretty good. That's what I'll say about this is that the facial expressions are really solid here. Like just really good stuff. Like everyone looks very distinct. And like you can read the emotions very easily off of people's faces. And yeah, this thing is horrific. This is this is you know it's one step further into the horror element of Terminator, where like Terminator can be seen as scary for sure, but yeah, it's a lot more I think visually frightening. And then you got this thing, which is like some kind of giant, semi-organic mechanical thing. I have no idea what this thing is, but it's gigantic. It's a guardian. It's been set after Guinevere. Now the only thing that I have to ask, and this is my only source of confusion throughout the entire pilot, is this scene here, because this is Olivia. This is the girl from the opening narration segment, and she looks super old, and it could just be because she's sick. I don't know. I really don't know if the the part shown here where she's standing out looking over her Disneyland kingdom, and the next scene where you see Andrea and uh, Frankie, when you see these two, like I don't know if this is taking place at the same time, because with like a, let's say like a 25, 30 year time skip, it doesn't give an exact number. Um, it kind of suggests that they're similar in age, but she looks way older. So I don't know if there's a lore reason for that. I don't know if there's a world building reason for that. But just look at like the aesthetics here. You got these what are supposed to be cute, I'm assuming robotic nurses, that are her caretakers. But in this light, in this with the prior world building and stuff to make everything seem miserable, this is scary, man. This is now all of a sudden scary. It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, where it takes something like going to a Chuck E. Cheese, which is supposed to be a fun time, and then it kind of casts it in this sense of dread and just horror over it. That makes the visuals that should be happy and cute and relaxing, and makes them all scary. Makes them all just like uncomfortable and unnerving, uncanny, if you will. Um, and I kind of get that vibe off of this a lot. But yeah, it seems like everyone in the world is sick and dying. They don't like the rest of the world does not like people who work for the government, which would be Disneyland. And the main character Andrea was working for there, but then she lost her job. But yeah, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. There's not much action sequence, but the world building and mystery to it is really really good. And just this moment here is is so terrifying. How gigantic this thing is. Um, how it's even though it's just giant robotic hunter thing, it's still sort of brandished like it's part of like the theme park. Like it's still got some of the elements to make it look like it. It's just it's horrific. All of it is just horrific, and it's in the best way possible, for sure. But by the end of it seems like they've got this thing back online, and I really like the credit sequence. The artwork here, this artwork is a little bit different in style than the rest of the show. They've obviously got some items already for sale. Um, and stuff like this. I really love this artwork. This is really good. that is that is awesome. And then you got Andrea here. It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. And like I said, I can't help but feel like making it Disney, but it's Disney has ruined the world. Is I think it's definitely intentional. I think it's definitely on purpose. From Dana Terrace. Like I said, I enjoyed this. I want to see more of it. I'm excited for it. In fact, I'm more hooked on this than I am the Amazing Digital Circus. Um, I want to know more about this world than I do anything else that Glitch has released, which is a testament to how intriguing it is. So really well done, really well done. My only thing is I want, because I know this studio is capable of doing much more exaggerated animation stuff. I want to see more of that in this, and I understand that this is their first 2D show, so this is going to be a little more rough of an experience. But if this is their first time doing it, if this is their first time making a 2D animated episode, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I'm more intrigued by this than anything on like Cartoon Network or whatever. As usual, like I said, that's the same thing I said with Digital Circus. I thought it looked better than anything on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. So, I mean, this is obviously not a kids' cartoon. There's lots of swearing, lots of blood and stuff like that. This is not at all a kids' cartoon. But I think if eventually they moved to making kids' cartoon in this animation style, I mean, give Glitch some more money, give Glitch some more manpower, and I think they could easily bury Cartoon Network, Disney, and Nickelodeon when it comes to actual like making cartoons. I think they could genuinely bury all three of them, which is not necessarily what I want. I want like Cartoon Network and these studios to make good stuff, but they're just not. They're just not doing it, and instead you got independent studios on YouTube putting it out here for free and doing a better job. So that's all I've got to say about it. It's pretty good. Check it out if you're interested in this kind of thing. If you grew up, if you grew up liking Five Nights at Freddy's, I guarantee you'll like this. If you grew up liking Five Nights at Freddy's and you still like Five Nights at Freddy's, you will love this. I think this has like kind of the same kind of similar uncanny, creepy vibe to it that I think people will enjoy. But with all that being said, thanks so much for watching. Till next time, peace out.